same one.
You say we're ready.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the March 24th, 2020 regular meeting of the Westchester Board of Trustees. Mr. Jones, roll call, please.
Yes, Mrs. Becker,
Here.
Mr. Wong,
Here.
Mr. Welch.
Here.
Please stand and face the flag as we say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The shelter-in-place order tonight has limited our attendance this evening, but we are live streaming this to the public to make sure we have high-quality transparency for our local government. If you do have a question this evening, you can email Lisa Brown, our Assistant Administrator. She's going to address any questions, and we have received a few. She's going to address them in our second citizens comment portion of our meeting. So let's move on to our action items.
Point of order,
Yes, sir.
Mr. President. I want the public to know that we are practicing social distancing.
Agreed.
We are at least 6 feet apart.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes. We do have a presentation tonight. I apologize, Chief. Mr. Burks, what do we have
Yes.
presentations tonight?
Presentation tonight is from Fire Department Chief Rick Prinz, and he's going to discuss a little bit about the local response to the COVID-19.
Thank you. And before I begin tonight, I feel very confident that I can speak for Colonel Herzog and myself that we stand with the city of Springdale and the police officer's family who lost their lives in the line of duty. In this time, this crisis that we're going through with COVID-19, unfortunately that is taking all the media attention away from this police officer who deserves a lot of attention because she was definitely a hero and what she did for her community, and we thank them and stand with them. Again, thank you for the opportunity to be with you tonight to talk about COVID-19 and the township's response. As of today, about 2 o'clock, and these numbers change, worldwide there are 214,893 confirmed cases, 8,732 deaths. The United States has 7,769 confirmed cases and 118 deaths. Ohio has 564 confirmed cases and 8 deaths. And as you know, the governor has issued the shelter-at-home order. Butler County still has, I think it's 18 cases and 8 deaths. As you recall, when I spoke with you individually last week, the many, many things that make Westchester great also make us vulnerable. Our proximity to the international airports, our very diverse community, the many nursing and healthcare facilities that we have within town, our robust businesses, manufacturing who do business all around the globe. These are some things that make me pause and have concern. For the last few weeks, the Westchester team has been meeting to address our response to COVID-19 with the emphasis on 5 critical items. Those items are to provide essential government services for Westchester Township during the COVID-19, provide safety for township employees and residents based upon the current information available for COVID-19, provide for continuity of government and emergency services, provide an ongoing review of procedures and policies related to each township department, and provide comprehensive safety procedures and best practices for all Westchester employees. To that end, we have developed a township-wide incident action plan to address the 5 critical points I have just mentioned. The Westchester team is in constant communication with the Butler County EOC and the state EOC. The fire department has been video conferencing with area fire chiefs to discuss and share policies, procedures, and best practices. Lastly, the entire Westchester team meets daily via video conferencing at 3 o'clock to review and update our incident action plan. And I know Trustee Becker, you have been attending those, and we are very appreciative of your input and cooperation and involvement. Thank you. An incident organizational chart has been established identifying key staff members to fill positions such as the incident commander, the safety officer, public information officer, a planning section, and logistics section. Logistics has been very critical in our response as a township to getting supplies. Personal protective equipment, thermometers, and disinfectant, as you know, are in very short supply due to the public panic purchasing. The fire department is working with our local vendors and through the EMA in the state of Ohio to receive personal protective equipment from the national stockpile, which, as you know, are also in very short supply. I want to make sure all Westchester residents understand they should not panic purchase because the nation's supply chain is strong and is functioning. There's also an operations section within our IAP and an administrative and finance section. Currently, all personnel time and expenditures related and relative to COVID-19 are being tracked for federal and state reimbursements. As you can imagine, the fire department budget is already being strained from ordering the necessary PPE and disinfectant supplies, and it's only March. We have a long way to go until we're finished with our budget year. Our administration has implemented social distance policies in all township facilities and has instituted a temperature monitoring program for all employees per the CDC guidelines. An incident communication plan has been established so all emergency services can communicate effectively during this crisis. This plan includes all of Westchester Township and Butler County radio systems. Safety messages are refreshed and posted daily to give our employees the most current safety information such as hand washing, PPE, disinfection protocols and procedures for our stations, equipment, and vehicles, social distancing and isolation. All of the township departments have taken necessary action in the way we provide ancillary services to the community. These measures are necessary to protect the public and to protect our responders. For example, the fire department has suspended our fire inspections, public education, station tours and visits, CPR and first aid classes, just to name a few. And unfortunately, we have also canceled the Easter egg hunt. I know the police department and some of the other forward-facing departments have done many of the same things to protect the public and their staff. As we stand today, I wholeheartedly feel the Ohio governor is doing the right thing. I think we will eventually flatten the curve. I do, however, believe it's going to get worse before it gets better. The days ahead will be difficult for Westchester Township as we all try to manage an increased call volume with dwindling staff. I am proud to report to you tonight the extraordinary cooperation between the departments. The effort to collaborate and coalesce as a township has been a tremendous sight. I can report that all departments have a plan to continue a high level of service delivery amidst this crisis. The public, however, must understand that we will continue to provide exceptional dispatch, police, fire, EMS, and road service delivery to the best of our ability under the circumstances we face. However, service delivery at times will likely be compromised. Finally, I'm asking all Westchester residents to adhere to the governor's orders. Be diligent in your hand washing, social distancing at home and at work. Practice routine office, home disinfection. Working together as a community to beat this virus is the only way to flatten the curve and turn to recovery. I ask again all Westchester residents be mindful of one another, lift each other up in this time of crisis, help one another, check in on your neighbors, and provide assistance when we can. Together we are stronger, and together we will overcome this corona crisis. That's all I have, so if there's any questions that I can answer for you, I'd be happy to do so.
Thank you, Chief Prince. I want to commend all the hard work this township employees been doing. Just one point to clarify, the 8 death is, what county is that in? Is there a specific county?
That was in Butler County.
That was all in Butler County.
Yep. I'm not aware of any Westchester residents that have either have a confirmed case or a death. I'm not
I think
not
that
aware
8
of any
deaths
of
are the
those.
whole
8.
state.
I'm sorry?
I think they're the whole state.
Well, you had
The whole
indicated,
state.
you indicated the whole state had 8 deaths.
I'm sorry,
and
yeah,
then-
I'm sorry. 18 cases in Butler County.
18 cases,
I'm
but
sorry.
the 8 death is not in Butler County.
Correct.
18 confirmed.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
Good question, Lee.
I have no more question. Thank you.
Perfect.
Mark, anything?
I'm good.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Chief.
All right,
We
thank you.
appreciate your
Thanks,
work.
Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you. So let's move on to our action items this evening. I'll entertain a motion to approve the trustee meeting minutes for March 10th, 2020.
So move.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Mr. Jones, roll call, please.
Yeah, Mr. Wong?
Yes.
Mr. Welch?
Yes,
Mrs. Becker?
Yes. I'll entertain a motion to approve payment of bills.
I so move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Mr. Jones, roll call, please.
Mr. Welch?
Yes,
Mrs. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Wong?
Yes.
We have an action item tonight, which is the approval of a lighting district in the Oaks of Westchester, Section 5. I'll entertain a motion to approve that Oaks of Westchester Lighting District.
So move.
I'll second.
Any I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that lighting district? Seeing none, Mr. Jones, roll call, please.
Yep. Mrs. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Wong?
Yes.
Mr. Welch?
Yes,
Thank you. Mr. Burks, requisitions greater than 7,500.
Yes, item number 1 is for Frost Brown Todd LLC in the amount of $44,824.12. This is legal services through February 29th, 2020 for all departments. Item number 2 is a motion to approve requisition to Chinese Chamber of Commerce in the amount of $17,500 to purchase 10 cases of N95 masks and 50 forehead thermometers for COVID-19 pandemic response. Healthcare providers are required to wear the N95 mask for contact with persons believed to carry the COVID-19 virus. As the healthcare industry encompasses many more workers than EMS, the supply chain of N95 masks is in shortage and may have further restrictions as this worldwide pandemic expands. The fire department currently has personal protective equipment, including masks and thermometers, but we are consuming these supplies at a greater rate than we can replenish them. Due to the overwhelming demand for supplies, the volume of masks and thermometers are necessary because we are uncertain when the supplies will be available again. I personally want to thank Trustee Wong and Leo Chan. Leo is the Executive Director of the Midwest Chinese Chamber of Commerce, and Trustee Wong happens to be the board chair. And it is because of that relationship that we were able to find a direct line to manufacturers, and we have the masks that are due to be here Friday.
Mr. Burks, point of order, I have stepped down as a chairman
Oh, okay, all right.
recently. Thank you.
Thank you. I was not aware of that.
And
Okay.
Furthermore, I want to be recused myself from item 2.
Okay,
Voting.
all right. We're lucky to have these masks coming, and they're scheduled to be here Friday. And each case, I believe, has 20 boxes with 24 masks in them. So we're looking at 1,500 masks. So that should help. So, and of course, 50 forehead thermometers. Item number 3. This is for Vogable Fire Equipment in the amount of $15,041. Motion to affirm emergency purchase of MSA self-contained breathing apparatus mask filter conversion kits and extra filters for the COVID-19 pandemic response. On March 12, 2020, the Westchester Board of Trustees individually signed an order to allow the township administrator the ability to immediately obligate the township to approve purchases up to $30,000 for purchases related to the coronavirus response and the measures associated. The attached quote for $15,041 from Vogable Fire was approved for purchase through an emergency authorization by the township administrator on March 13th, 2020. These masks are intended to combat the shortage of N95 masks. The conversion kits for the self-contained breathing apparatus masks allow a small flat filter cartridge to be put into those fit-tested masks as a secondary resource for protection from the virus if needed. Therefore, that we're coming to you. Thank you for your authorization to purchase those. Item number 4. This is for the police department, Cincy Autos Incorporated, for $134,406. This is to purchase 4 2020 police vehicles, CIP number 1288. At this time, the police department is requesting the trustees to approve $134,406 payable to Cincy Autos for 4 police vehicles. They were budgeted for $450,000 on annual per vehicle replacement due to high mileage for vehicles or maintenance issues that have increased due to the age, mileage, and condition. The annual fleet evaluation identified 4 vehicles that will require replacement. The proposed purchase is for 2 2020 Ford Explorer Interceptors and 2 Ford F-150 Responders. These 4 vehicles meet the police department's current needs. Item number 5. This is to Tri-State Public Safety in the amount of $63,580 to purchase equipment to outfit 4 new police vehicles. This is also CIP number 1288. At this time, the police department would like to request a purchase order from the in the amount of $63,580 to Tri-State Public Health. This is for all the equipment and graphics on the aforementioned item. Item number 6, to the Ohio Department of Transportation in the amount of $274,640. This is for the installation of the Tylersville Overpass fencing. This is CIP number 1636. At the December 17th, 2019 meeting, the board approved a resolution number 26-2019 affirming their participation in the Tylersville Overpass project. ODOT has bid and awarded the project, and ODOT has furnished an invoice in the amount of $274,640 for our portion of the project. This project is scheduled to begin in July. Item number 7. For services, this is to Granite Inliner LLC in the amount of $56,980 to repair storm pipe on Inner Ocean Drive. This is CIP 1258. Westchester budgeted $500,000 in 2020 to perform storm pipe replacement through the township. However, this particular project is outside the storm pipe contract. Several sections of the storm pipe are in need of repair on Inner Ocean Drive. We will utilize TIF funds for this repair, and as it is in a TIF district. This work can be done, completed by using a liner inside the pipe, existing pipe, rather than digging up several sections under the street and under numerous utility lines. Lining the pipes, in this case, is the most cost-effective. This price does include a 10% contingency.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Burks. Since Mr. Wong has recused himself on item 2, let's take that one separately. I'll entertain a motion to approve requisition item 2.
I so move.
I'll second. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yeah, Mr. Burks, did you indicate that this was part of a larger purchase that's also being
Yeah,
used by Westchester Hospital?
There are, actually, it's UC Health,
UC
I
Health.
believe, is the partner, additional party in the purchase and the group buying several items from the, through Midwest Chinese Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
There may be others, I wasn't aware, things have been moving pretty fast around here. I just know, I was just glad to hear we were getting our shipment, and I was glad to hear others were participating in the purchase opportunity. So not everyone in the United States is able to make this contact, and right now, everything is in short supply.
Yeah, it's good to know that there's others that are participating in this, given the COVID-19
Right.
virus. But it also gives me peace, believing that through a much larger buying block, that we're getting the best price possible.
Well, yeah, and you know, we didn't have a lot of time to shop around. There were some probably cheaper masks, but you couldn't find them. You can't buy them. They're just not available.
Yeah.
And we thought that, you know, the price was fair considering the market at the time. And that's why we brought that emergency purchase to your attention. And I appreciate you all helping us out with that.
Great, thanks, Larry.
It's going to speed things along, and I'm sure Rick and his team and the EMS folks and the police department, even the police department will be needing some as well, so.
Okay.
Are
Thank
you
you.
allowed to review the purchase order of Westchester Hospital, the amount?
I was not able to, no, I
Okay.
don't know.
It was 150,000.
With the current usage and the expected acceleration of the virus, do you have any idea how long this amount of masks will last?
Rick may, I do know that the nation itself is producing more now. They're mass producing as quickly as they can. So this will buy us time to maybe receive some of those masks being produced domestically.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Rick, you can add on to that, please.
Yeah, currently, right now, the way we stand, the amount of responses we're making, we have a 4-day burn rate. And we know in the weeks to come, it's just gonna keep inclining. So I anticipate we're gonna get to the point where we will have to go to the EMA to get part of our stockpile on a daily basis just to have enough masks to get through the
Does
day.
a 4-day burn rate mean you have 4 days worth in your
Correct.
supply?
Yes,
And then you're getting this shipment on Friday?
yep.
Okay.
So it'll help, but eventually we'll get to the point where we will exhaust those, and that's why it was so important to do the canisters on the previous Vogel Pool request, that we can utilize those as well, because part of the problem is the N95 masks, you're required by OSHA to be fit tested to wear those masks. So you get fit tested, and because of the shortage, you don't know what manufacturer you're going to be able to get supply from, and you may not be fit tested to that manufacturer. But our SCBA masks, everybody has one because we use those already for firefighting. You're already fit tested to those, so there's no issue with fit testing. All you got to do is click it in, and you're good to go.
For 8 hours, correct?
For 8, yeah, they're good for 8 hours, yep.
So the N95 masks that we're getting in, are those one and done? You use them once and you throw them away?
Normally, yes. Amidst this crisis, we're following guidance from CDC that says it's good for your entire shift unless it gets soiled. So we are conserving our PPE. Our guys know that at the beginning of their shift, they can get a mask, and that mask is theirs for the rest of their tour.
And if they don't use it, then it goes back in inventory, or they keep it?
Yeah, so if they've worn it, that belongs to them, and they would put it in their pocket and keep it for their next time if they have not used it, correct?
Right, but if they're not out on a call, they're not gonna have to use it.
Correct.
Okay.
Good, thank you. Anything else?
Nope.
Mr. Jones, roll call, please.
Let's see. Mr. Wong,
I'll recuse myself.
recused yourself, yes. Mr. Welch
Yes.
and Mrs. Becker.
Yes. I'll entertain a motion to approve items 1, 3 through 7.
I so move.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on these items? No? Seeing none, Mr. Jones, roll call, please.
Yes, Mr. Welch?
Yes.
Mrs. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Wong?
Yes.
Mr. Burks, we have a personnel item, item 8, administration.
Yes, motion to approve a 3.5% merit pool for the 2020 merit performance increases, and not to exceed 4% individual increase for qualified non-contract exempt and non-exempt employees, and authorize the township administrator to approve and apply said merit performance increases effective the first full pay period of July 2020, subject to approved and related policies and procedures. In February of 2006, the trustees adopted a merit compensation program for all qualified non-contract and exempt non-contract employees, and the program has been successfully implemented with favorable results. Annually, the board considers the percentages for the merit pool based on applicable current payroll and for a not-to-exceed increase for any individual. This may not seem like the most opportune time to be approving a merit increase, but this isn't a raise. This is establishing the pool for us so we can continue our operational progress. And we need to plan for the future. The action requested of the trustees only sets the pool merit increase, and no increase will be given until mid-July. This gives us plenty of time to monitor our financial status and make any adjustments if necessary. After extensive research, staff presents for consideration a 3.5% merit pool based on current payroll and not to exceed 4% increase for any individual employee's merit performance for 2020. I want to reiterate that. It is there is a ceiling. Westchester continues to sit at a crossroads in its maturity. The demand for sustaining the community's prominence will continue to require commitment, creativity, and experience, and that requires qualified employees and, well, the last couple of weeks is great employees. So, looking forward, Westchester faces an exodus of talent through retirement. With significant retirement anticipated in the next several years and considerable number of resignations for compensation-related reasons, retention of exceptional employees and those with some historical perspective will be critical, warranting consideration of rewarding exceptional work and intentiveness. Using the current payroll for non-contract eligible employees, a 3.5% pool calculates to an available pool for department allocation of approximately $194,098. However, we generally never use, we usually only use about 80 to 85, maybe 90% of that. So the actual amount is expected to be much less if things continue to improve as they have been. So as we regain our footing from the COVID-19 response, we'll be able to make our decisions we'll have more confidence in these, but we will be closely monitoring the situation and the financial impact that this has on in the township, specifically the township as a local government. This is a trying time, and we understand the situation that elected officials are in. But I'd like to point out the fact this is yet again another reason why the township form of government is really effective. We are based on property taxes, and the impact that we have now is primarily sales and income. So we understand there's a squeeze on the state, and that squeeze is going to trickle down at some point, and we will be monitoring it closely. And if at any time, you have my word on this, if at any time I don't think we can carry the load, we will be back to you with more information and better requests.
Very good. Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve item 8.
I so move.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I want to say that, like Mr. Birch said that these actions set the merit pool. However, it does not actually extend pay raises to individuals, all right? And trustees still have the power to pull this anytime
Yeah, if,
until July.
yes, sir.
And this is all a part of our, incorporated to a part of our strategic plan, operational plan that has been planned for a long time, that we must set its course, the ship, properly.
We really value the fact that we're on track. We're on schedule with many of the operational items at the township. And we also appreciate the fact, going forward, there may be a need for a change. But for now, we'd like to stay the course, and we're confident that we can manage, and we're confident that the communities around us and across the United States, after we make it through this surge, will rebound. I'm confident that we'll rebound.
We're all very optimistic that our township will, and the country itself will survive this virus. And moving forward, I've seen amazing things come out of our staff. And this is not a, hey, everyone gets a 3.5% raise. This is, if you earn it, you have to prove it to your department head, and you get it. So, and it comes back to us too. So, yeah, it's important to look forward, to be optimistic.
I agree with what you just said, Ann. Those longtime employees that we have here, and Lee, you'll remember this just like I do. In years past, this standard operating procedure that we've had in place usually doesn't take place until like October, where we're going back, having to go back and calculate the amount of money that people were going to get as part of their raise, because our fiscal year starts July 1. So this is the second year that we've done this. We've changed the standard operating procedure for our operational budget, and we've already gone through all the work here. All of the evaluations have been made. The picture I had when Larry and I were talking about this earlier today was NASA building a rocket ship. And all we're going to do is we're going to put fuel in it. We're going to wait and check the weather at launch time, and we're going to determine whether or not it's a go. And then, like you said, Ann, it doesn't mean everybody's getting 3.5%. It means it's based upon merit. So this is a good thing. Let's get it done, and we'll keep the township in business and going forward.
Well said, Mr. Welch.
Very good.
And this is just a small amount of employees that are
Yeah, only the non-contract.
non-contract.
I was looking through my notes. I couldn't find how many employees that actually is.
Lisa, is that just about 100?
It's a little around 60.
Oh, 60, okay.
About 60.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
that's right.
That's
Okay.
what good, well, okay.
Very good. Anything else? Mr. Jones, roll call, please.
Mrs. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Wong?
Yes.
Mr. Welch?
Yes.
Thank you.
We have no first readings of resolutions tonight.
I'm sorry, Ann, there is an
Oh,
item
no,
9.
I skipped right through it. I
It's a liquor
apologize.
permit. That's important.
It's a
That's
fact.
very
Hold on, page 7. Sorry. Mr. Burks, business item 9, please.
Yes, motion not to object to a C1 and C2 liquor permit transfer from UDF Limited Partnership 1, doing business as United Dairy Farmers 094 at 9594 Cincinnati Columbus Road, to A.D. Shaw LLC, doing business as T.J. Sonico at 9594 Cincinnati Columbus Road.
I'll entertain a motion not to object to item 9.
I'll make a motion not to object.
I'll second.
I have a motion not to object and a second. Any discussion? Mr. Jones, roll call, please.
Mr. Wong?
Yes.
Mr. Welch?
Yes.
Mrs. Becker?
Yes. And now we've come to first readings, which we don't have any of. So that brings us to our second citizens' comments portion. Ms. Brown, will you help us out with any questions that we've received from our online audience?
I did want to make one small correction. Our fiscal year is January 1 to December 31. We've chosen we've used the July 1 date due to the schedule that our income, or our property taxes come through. So,
Gotcha, thank you.
yep, just wanted to correct that for the record. Yes, we received 4 comments via email. The first one is from Linda O'Connor, 7402 Great Waters Lane, and she writes, I just wanted to say thank you for the work and professionalism of Westchester Township trustees and administration, first responders, and other staff. I value the organization's agility and responsiveness to a crisis none could have predicted, and which continues to evolve on a daily basis. The impact that strong local government leaders can have has been highlighted with this unprecedented situation, and I applaud your efforts. Thank you for all you are doing to support residents and businesses. The second question is from Gene Hindle, 6061 Eaglet Drive, I think. And his question is, what are other cities and townships doing about having meetings during these times? So to answer that briefly, a lot of communities are handling it in a lot of different ways. Some are canceling them. Some of them are Facebook Living like we are tonight. Some are permitting the community to come out. Some are prohibiting the community to come out. We have chosen to discourage people from attending just to maintain that social distancing, and then providing the Facebook Live feed, YouTube live feed, so that we can still have open meetings during this time. The third comment is from Michael DeSalvo, 8371 Birchstone Court. He provided quite a long email message, but in order to just add clarity and to shorten things, I will just summarize this, and we'll submit the full email message to the fiscal officer for the record. But essentially, Mr. DeSalvo is concerned with installations of 5G communications in Westchester, and he asks for a moratorium on installing this type of technology within the township. We spoke with our law director about this question, and our law director advised us that the township actually has no jurisdiction or authority over installation of these types of facilities, and if residents have concerns about this issue, that they should contact their congressperson or the FCC, and they are the ones who would be able to provide further information. And the last comment that we received is from Patrick Barnett, 7986 Tyler's Way, and it's actually a question for Trustee Welch. And he asks, how are you drawing on your military service to frame your response to the COVID-19 crisis? And he thanks you for your service.
Okay, that's it?
And that is all.
Those are our citizens' comments. Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate that. So we don't have any second readings tonight, so we will move on to elected official comment, discussion items and elected official comments. Mr. Burks, do you have anything additional?
I tell you, I'm humbled every day I come into work. I've got the best people in the world to work with, including the elected officials. Lisa Brown has been handling all the HR issues related to policies and COVID response. Rick Prinz and his team have set up the emergency response team and the emergency operations center, and they appear to be experts at what they're doing. And I can say that because I've been working around people for many years, and I'm very impressed with how our team, my team, has been responding to this. And we will continue to work very hard on the response to COVID-19, but I also agree with Rick in the fact that the worst is yet to come, but we're prepared for it. I want the trustees to know, and Ann, I want to thank you for calling in on every day at 3 o'clock and hearing this preparation that I'm speaking of, and we're ready. As long as we have materials and supplies, Rick's team will be ready, and the police will be ready as well. So I want to thank everyone for all their hard work and patience on the staff, and all the hard work and patience on the front line. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Bruce, do you have anything tonight?
Yeah, likewise, I want to express my appreciation to our police, fire, EMT personnel, and especially to our medical personnel in the community, be it physicians or nurse, what have you, because it's very trying on them and their families. This is very unique times we're in, obviously. It's new to many of them, new to their children, and many of whom don't understand really what's going on. But I do appreciate the effort you're making, the precautions you're taking, and all in the interest of our public safety. I thank you. Thank you to all of you for expressing your optimism, because I share in that optimism. Right now, yes, it's very trying, but I believe that as long as everybody does what they're supposed to do, and there's plenty of information about what to do and the social distancing as we're practicing right here, to name but one example of it, and including prayer, I believe His will be done, and we will at some point in the not too distant future be in a position to learn from this. We'll have a learning opportunity, and hopefully everyone will seize that opportunity. It's been said that we're all in it together, and we have this sense of shared community, or humanity, I should say, that's building amongst us. There is a blood shortage because people, the Red Cross and whomever, they're not realizing the donations that they have received in the past. In fact, I'll tell you, I called them today, and you need to make an appointment to donate blood. So I called, and I was advised that I was the 49th caller in line. And I thought that's a wonderful thing.
It is a wonderful.
It really is. So it's challenging and trying right now, but it's there's a very wonderful silver lining to it all. It's going to be good.
Yeah,
Thanks.
very good. Lee, did you have anything tonight?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Jones, well said.
Lee, I don't think your mic's on.
Did you bump it?
Thank you, Mr. Jones, well said.
Hold on, here
No,
it
it's
comes.
not. Is it red?
No.
Okay, you're good.
No, there it is.
Oh. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jones, well said. We have, in the past, Ms. Becker were an EMT, all kinds of exercise, practice runs, or 911. Now it's coming to reality that it's been put to use, that our township's been prepared this for a long time, especially even before this pandemic. So I want to thank all the hard work that they put in, and that is really coming into action, and everyone is stepping up. I also want to let the community know that our services, especially police and fire, EMT, they will respond accordingly, and that anyone that think that they can get away with a crime in Westchester, that's not going to happen. You will be caught and punished to the full extent of the law. I want to share something that someone sent me. There's a lot of fake stuff on Facebook, but once in a while there's a good one. But I thought, wow, this one really makes sense to me, that I will read it very short, and I will read what is sensible to us, apply to us. It says that the writer said that there's behind everything that happens, whether that is what we perceive as being good or being bad. Okay, I share this with you, what I feel, this writer feel about the the COVID-19 virus is really doing to us. One, it is reminding us that we are all equal, regardless of our culture, religion, occupation, financial situation, or how famous we are. This disease treats us all equally. Perhaps we should too, if you don't believe me, as Tom Hanks. Second, it is reminding us that we are all connected, and something that affects one person has an effect on another. It is reminding us that the false borders that we have put up have little values, as this virus does not need a passport. It is reminding us, by oppressing us for a short time, of those in this world whose whole life is spent on oppression. It is reminding us of how precious our health is and how we have moved to neglect it through eating nutrients-poor manufactured food and drinking water that is contaminated with chemicals upon chemicals. If we don't look after our health, we will, of course, get sick. 4, it is reminding us of the shortness of life and of what is most important for us to do, which is to help each other, especially those who are old or sick. Our purpose is not to buy toilet roll. It is reminding us of how materialistic our society has become, and how, when in times of difficulty, we remember that it is essential that we need food, water, medicine, as opposed to the luxuries that we sometimes unnecessarily give value to. Number 6, it is reminding us of how important our family and home life is, and how much we have neglected this. It is forcing us back into our houses so we can rebuild them into our home and to strengthen our family unit. Number 7, it is reminding us that our true work is not our job, that is what we do, not what we were created to do. Our true work is to look after each other, to protect each other, and to be of benefit to one another. It is reminding us to keep our egos in check. It is reminding us that no matter how great we think we are, or how great others think we are, a virus can bring our world to a standstill. Number 9, it is reminding us that the power of free will is in our hands. We can choose to cooperate and help each other, to share, to give, to help, and to support each other, or we can choose to be selfish, to hoard, to look after only ourselves. Indeed, it is difficulties that brings out our true colors. That's all I have. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Lee.
Well, I'm going to echo what Lee and Bruce have said about our first responders, Chief Herzog and Mr. Prinz. Thank you. We appreciate it. Yeah, you know, this kind of blindsided us, didn't it? Mm-hmm. You know, nobody saw this coming. Everything was rocking and rolling. We were up at 29,000 in the stock market, and now we're about two-thirds of that. You know, but the wise old sage once said, people are disturbed not by events, but by their opinion of events. So it's our interpretation of events that disturb us, not the actual event. There are lots of silver linings in this. I mean, we're gonna come out and we're gonna learn a ton, and we're gonna learn how to respond even better. There's going to be advancements in science because of this. So, and I won't belabor it, but the best way to feel better about a situation is to get your eyes off of yourself and to start thinking about helping somebody else. Because if we see someone in need and we help that person, then suddenly that's that selfless act. And how's it go? Small things done with great love change the world. So keep that in mind. If you happen to own a business like I do, which is non-essential, keep looking for the silver lining, sharpen the pencil, cancel all the fees that you don't need, break it down to the point where it's just the only essential stuff you're paying for. That's it.
Thank you. Okay. Small things, yeah. I wanted to thank Linda O'Connor for her comment. I know the kids start online school tomorrow, and we all get to realize how important our teachers are tomorrow as parents. That'll be fun for everybody. There's been a lot of gratitude on the board today for all of our first responders and our police and our fire, our EMS, and I echo that as well. Being on the emergency operations center the past couple of weeks has been a real eye-opener. I know we've gotten some comments that we have been farther ahead than any community in Southwest Ohio, and they're looking to Westchester. Other communities are looking to us to see how to get it done. And that's very impressive to me. It's been a great experience. I also want to thank just our residents. I think we're getting it done. I think we're doing the social distancing, but there are those that are doing work that is essential that, gosh, I didn't think the checkout kid at Kroger was going to be an essential person. I mean, they are essential, but you never know what's going to happen and who's going to be important in these times of crisis. Just a reminder, stay connected. Really stay in touch with your neighbors. As we go through this, it might be hard for a lot of people to be alone if they're alone for a long time. The township does have our senior van service. We are still doing some of those things. So if you need someone, you don't know where to turn, call the office, email one of us, let us know, and we're in touch with everybody. We can help point you in the right direction. And if you're struggling with food, I know Reach Out Lakota is still doing work. They've had great donations the past week or so. But if you're going to the store, get a couple extra canned goods and drop them off at Cincinnati Dayton Road, right in front of St. John's. They have an outside little closet. You just stick it in the closet. You don't have to talk to anybody. But it's an easy way to help out someone who might need a little bit of a boost. But we'll get through this, just like we do everything in Westchester, with professionalism and grace. And we'll come out of it better, just like Mr. Welch said. We'll come out of it better. Some way we'll learn something, and we'll make it through this, for sure. So I appreciate everybody coming out tonight and everyone watching online. Did anyone else have anything? No? Very good. We do not have executive session tonight. So we have concluded all of our business and action items, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the March 24th regular meeting of the Westchester Trustees.
So move.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Mr. Jones, roll call, please.
Yeah, Mr. Welch,
Yes.
Mrs. Becker,
Yes,
Mr. Wong.
Yes.
we stand adjourned.